Hello and welcome to another episode of TiPB Tidbits, where we examine those small yet memorable scenes of public television history. Christmas is just arriving, and just after the 12 days are up, we can expect a brand new season of All Creatures Great and Small on PBS Masterpiece. To celebrate, I think it's time to look at two Christmas episodes of All Creatures, Merry Gentlemen and The Night Before Christmas. The original series of All Creatures Great and Small, based off the books by James Alfred White, also known as James Herriot, first aired on the BBC from 1978 until 1980, and was sold to PBS stations in the United States in 1979, in a similar fashion as Doctor Who and Monty Python's Flying Circus. Heck, my grandparents still remember watching it back in the 80s, and my mother enjoyed reading the original books. The series featured Christopher Timothy as James Herriot, Robert Hardy as Siegfried Farnan, Peter Davison as Tristan Farnan, Mary Higgett as Mrs. Hall, and Carol Drinkwater as Helen. The Christmas episode, Merry Gentlemen, premiered on Christmas Eve 1978. James, Helen, Siegfried, and Tristan prepare for Christmas, though the usual veterinary workload hasn't changed. Tricky Woo falls ill and has to stay at the surgery, while James, Siegfried, and Tristan treat a poor Romany family's pet donkey. Other items include Siegfried tasting Mrs. Hewison's famous Christmas cake, decorating Skelldale House for Christmas, and Tristan being very suspicious of what's going on in the house's front room. If there is an ultimate All Creatures holiday special, this would be it. The whole 50 minutes are steeped in the warmth of Yuletide, from James, Tristan, and Siegfried hunting the perfect Christmas tree to everybody heading out for Christmas service in the snow, and the last few images of the tree lit and the presents around it. The special is available to watch on BritBox and Prime Video, and I highly recommend checking it out.
All I can say is I take my hat off to you, Siegfried. Huh? Well, your position in the household was already exalted. Now it's impregnable.
The 2020 reboot of All Creatures Great and Small first premiered on Channel 5 in the UK and on PBS Masterpiece in the US in January 2021. The new series features Nicholas Ralph as James, Samuel West as Siegfried, Callum Woodhouse as Tristan, Anna Madeley as Mrs. Hall, and Rachel Shenton as Helen. The Christmas episode, The Night Before Christmas, revolves around Helen's impending marriage to Neville Longbottom. Skelldale House has its annual Christmas open house, with Siegfried playing Father Christmas and Tristan his reluctant elf. To get away from the talk of weddings, Helen joins James on a house call to deliver a litter of puppies, but both get stranded when heavy fog sets in. Meanwhile, Siegfried tries working up the courage to kindle a romance with Mrs. Hall's friend Dorothy. Tristan tries to cure a sick donkey, and Mrs. Hall eagerly awaits the return of her ne'er-do-well son for Christmas dinner. This new series departs slightly from the original source material and works more on fleshing out the main cast, as evidenced in this episode by Mrs. Hall and Tristan's story arcs. Earlier episodes of this series hinted at Mrs. Hall's relationship with her wayward son, and an explanation for their distance is given in this special. Tristan, in past episodes, is shown to be very sociable and approachable, but this special shows that his outgoing nature is little more than a facade, a special mask he tends to put on.
I've just got a way to pretend. I've got a magic mask. And when I put it on, I can be anyone I like. I can be funny, I can be brave, and I can talk to anyone, even though I'm very scared of the world. Do you want to try it on? Doesn't that feel better?
We also see the romance developing between Helen and James as they're stuck together on Christmas Eve. The final moments of James, Tristan, Siegfried, and Mrs. Hall enjoying Christmas lunch together shows the family dynamic of Skelldale House, and the ending radio speech by George VI alludes to greater events to follow in the next season.
We send our Christmas a greeting and wish you blessing, health, and prosperity in the years that lie ahead.
So those are the two All Creatures Christmas specials in this episode, the original and the reboot. One is a Christmas visit with old friends, the other is a dramatic progression of an overarching storyline. One prioritizes atmosphere, while the other prioritizes character dynamics. Personally, I prefer watching the original Christmas special when the holidays roll around, but the reboot is nothing to scoff at. I for one look forward to what awaits James, Siegfried, and Tristan in the next season of All Creatures Great and Small on Masterpiece.
Well, Merry Bloody Christmas.
Merry Bloody Christmas!
Now for the PBS Member Station Spotlight. We're moving to the Northwest for a look at Oregon Public Broadcasting. Oregon Public Broadcasting's roots go back to the age of radio, with public radio stations KFDJ in 1923 and KOAC in 1925. In 1957, KOAC-TV began broadcasting from the campus of Oregon State University, followed by KOPB-TV Portland in 1961, KTVR La Grande in 1964, and KOAB Bend in 1970. In 1971, these four stations became known as the Oregon Educational and Public Broadcasting Service. In 1981, they became Oregon Public Broadcasting, and in 1993 became a community licensed organization supported by the state of Oregon. In 2006, OPB started airing a digital broadcast and moved to full digital broadcasting in 2009. Programming for OPB includes local programs such as Oregon Field Guide, Artbeat Oregon, Oregon Experience, and Oregon Revealed, along with nationally broadcast programs like History Detectives, Barbecue America, Rick Steves Europe, and the travel programs of Art Wolf. Today, Oregon PBS provides public television programming to the majority of the state of Oregon outside the Medford TV market. If you're in Oregon, you can tune in to Oregon Public Broadcasting on these stations, with OPB Plus on the .2 channel, PBS Kids on the .3 channel, and OPB FM on the .4 channel. Well, that just about does it for this year, folks. Thank you to everyone for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, feel free to like, subscribe, and share, ring the bell, follow on Twitter, etc., etc. And also don't forget to support your local PBS stations. Some more programs related to All Creatures Great and Small can find their way to your television screens. And until January, I'm Captain Rutledge. Happy holidays.